Hi, welcome to my review of Doctor Strange, directed by Scott Derrickson, a psychedelic fantasy and science fiction film that centers on a distressed neurosurgeon, Dr. Stephen Strange, after suffering severe permanent nerve damage in his hands as a result of being in a brutal car accident. With no remedies available, Strange travels to Nepal based upon a rumor of finding the one place in the world that can heal him, Kamar-Taj, a secret academy for those who practice sorcery. Alright, so since some of my audio decided to fuck up as I was recording certain clips, you're going to see me appear as is throughout bits and pieces of this video, sort of filling that void and also reinstating certain things that I just wanted to reinstate. It's also been a few days since I've seen Doctor Strange, and my perceptions of the film have actually strengthened a little bit over time. So as you all probably know if you've been following my channel for a while now, that I've never really been on this whole Marvel hype train. I think they've made for some decent films, but nothing that's really all that exceptional. Now, just because I don't think that The Avengers is the greatest film of all time, that doesn't mean that I think you're wrong for having those perceptions. You can like whatever the hell you want to like, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Seriously, fuck them. That said, I did quite like, maybe to an extent, even love Civil War that came out earlier this year. It's definitely one of the highlights for me of the year. And then, of course, there's Guardians of the Galaxy, which is easily one of my favorite comic book-based movies of all time. As for Doctor Strange going into it, I really can't say that I've been this excited for a Marvel film probably since Spider-Man 2, and of course that was like over 10 years ago. And my enthusiasm for this film was really all to do with the trailer. It looked like a cross between Batman Begins and Inception, two of my all-time favorite films. Also throw in the fact that this film features actors of a very high caliber and features a Michael Giacchino score that I have to say, out of all the Marvel films, is actually kind of memorable, at least the actual composition of instruments that are being used for the end credits. As for the film itself, one of the reasons why I was really excited about this film was its use of CGI. Typically, I'm not a big fan of heaps of CGI, especially when it's not merited or when it's just flat out uninspired. But the CGI here is not only necessary, but it is damn creative. And I know a lot of people have been saying that this is a shoo-in for best visual effects over at the Academy Awards. And I think the only thing that kind of holds that back is just maybe that it's not always the most convincing, meaning that it does look like CGI. However, it is mind-boggling how everything is designed. To kind of sum it up, it's kind of like Christopher Nolan, Inception, or MC Escher on shrooms. This really seems to be a visual effects artist's dream, or maybe nightmare depending on the person. There's a lot of painstaking work that I presume that was involved here. And the result, I have to say, is quite mesmerizing, and being somebody who went to the theater not on drugs, there are times that I felt like I was, so take that as you will. I guess that's a positive thing to say about the film. As for the other components to this film, such as the characters and the script, I do think this is a nice little introduction to these characters within this Marvel universe. Benedict Cumberbatch plays Stephen Strange, who is this genius, perfectionistic asshole surgeon who loves a challenge, however, refrains from taking on things that could actually cause him his perfect record. At one point in the film, he describes himself as having a photographic memory. He's highly intelligent, and he isn't afraid of letting you know that either, while giving you a little bit of wit while he's at it. Surprisingly, this is a pretty goofy film, and I don't think it's quite as funny, nor do I think it's quite as clever as Guardians of the Galaxy. Not saying that the banter here is wrong, because there is some nice bits of banter and there's some nice bits of comedy, and I do think that more of it works than doesn't, but there is some material that does come across as a little silly, some of the slapstick, some of the one-liners, which is unfortunate because I did find some of the comedic material to get in the way of some of the more dramatic moments in the film. There are some jerky tonal shifts in this movie. However, when the movie does focus on those more dramatic moments, it is damn good, especially when you have actors such as Benedict Cumberbatch, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Tilda Swinton going back and forth. And to add on to that, this really is some of the best acting I've seen in the MCU, the Avengers universe, if you want to call it that. The performances are very strong here, and I also like the characters, especially Chiwetel Ejiofor's character. Really interested in seeing what they're going to do with him in the future. As for any other problems, or really just minor gripes, I did find the transition for Stephen Strange to becoming Doctor Strange a little too quick. One scene he can barely do anything, and the next scene he can practically do everything. And that does continue in certain areas throughout the film. It's not a big deal, but it is something that I did notice, or lack thereof, of time passing by. The next thing that bears mentioning is that this is very much indeed a Marvel film. It looks like a Marvel film, it feels like a Marvel film, it feels more like a film that is a product by the studio versus a product by the director. You look at James Gunn with Guardians of the Galaxy. However, to be fair, when you actually get into the spectacle for this film, all that psychedelic imagery, this doesn't only feel ambitious, but it also feels very much unique. And it's able to do that despite it actually following that Marvel first entry formula that we've all come to sort of know, or just the blockbuster formula in general. So with all that said, I'm going to give Doctor Strange a very ultra light 4 out of 5. So there you have it. I do think Doctor Strange is worthy of your time, more than worthy of your time if I might add. And as far as how I would rank it in the Marvel Universe, it would probably be ranked number 3. Number 1 would be Guardians of the Galaxy, number 2 would be Civil War, and then of course Doctor Strange. So that's good. If you are somebody who has seen Doctor Strange, then do let me know your thoughts on it. And as always, I'm Colin Kirkland, and thank you so much for watching.